Hey, family, this is Steve Copeland. This is Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation Show. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation Show. Ah, ah. Hey, family. Hey, family. Hey, family. Y'all know every time I come on, I have to give a little introduction, right? I am not your average toxic entertainment platform. That's not who I am. Okay. Um, in my mind, right, is educational purposes. When you hear me talk about strengthen the community, when you hear me talk about the Latanya D. Copeland House of Hope, when I come on TikTok and I come on my broadcast network, this is my way of advertising the business. This is my way of letting people know around the world the work that we're doing here in Baltimore City. I can only speak on Baltimore City. I cannot speak for Detroit, Chicago. I cannot speak all over. I can only speak for here in Baltimore City. And if some of y'all have a problem with that, then I'm not the platform you want to come up on. Okay? One thing about Steve Copeland, I share my experience, my strengths, and my hopes. Let me make that clear. I share my experience, my strengths, and my hopes. I didn't get to 63 years old overnight. Oh, yes, I did. A day at a time. I'm sorry. I didn't get to 63 overnight. All right. I don't mind having conversations with people, but keep in mind, you come on my platform, you know, real recognize real. If I bring you up, the goal is to educate and empower other people. Don't look at me, because this is basically a calling on my life, and I keep trying to tell y'all, but y'all want to fix it the way you want to fix it. I'm an ordained deacon. My ministry is back in the streets. I share that with y'all all the time, but some kind of way you go in your head and you want to fix it to fit your narrative. I got ordained deacon. I knew since a child, I knew I had a calling on my life. I knew it. I just became obedient, basically, to that calling a little over 32 years ago, when God delivered me from the smugs and all that type of lifestyle. So I'm only giving back to our community what was freely given to me. Listen to the words that's coming out my mouth, because when I say stuff, I don't know what y'all be doing. I don't know if you be in your head and you waiting to respond because you seem like you need to debate me. You don't have to debate Steve Copeland. You do not have to debate Steve Copeland. If you come up on here, what I need you to do, even if you don't see, because my platform, you're not going to see a lot of viewers. You're not going to see a lot of viewers. I'm letting you know now, you're not going to see. And I'm saying this for TikTok purpose, and I'm saying this for my Restream broadcast network. Y'all know me in Baltimore City. Y'all know me in Baltimore City. TikTok don't know me like that. But y'all know me in Baltimore City. Y'all know the work I do, and y'all know the pressure that I come under. Not just as, I'm going to say, a minister for Christ, but as a community activist, as a human rights advocate, as a person that fights for our civil rights, equal rights, and constitutional rights. See, y'all steady focused on Martin Luther King and them, right? Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I didn't know until God showed me. That's what I do as a human rights advocate. That's what God, I didn't know until that's what God showed me as a minister of Christ. What was Martin Luther King? He was a reverend. He stood up for our civil rights, equal rights, and constitutional rights. I'm an ordained deacon. I fight for our civil rights, equal rights, and constitutional rights. I deal with the politicians. I deal with the religious sector. I didn't choose this life by trade, right? I'm a retired tractor trailer driver. I retired January, would be 6 years. I retired from trucking at 58 years old. Now, when I come on here, it's not to win y'all favor. Don't get it wrong. Please don't get it wrong. It's not to win y'all favor. It's not to win y'all approval or none of that. Because when I come on and I open up my mouth, I don't know who somewhere need to hear that message or whatever I say out my mouth. If I don't get no likes, I don't get nobody like, you know, yeah, Steve this, Steve that. That's not my problem. That is not my problem. As a recovering addict, it's like I wear a lot of hats. Y'all see me when I come on here a lot of times, I have on different hats. I wear a lot of hats. I have a lot of titles. That's all it is. They're titles. Don't get mad at me because a lot of y'all don't have the balls. And I'm going to tell you like it is. That you don't have the balls, the courage, and the confidence to stand up to the people that I normally stand up to with the organizations that I'm with. Don't get mad at me. And I try my best, right? Knowing that a lot of people don't have the courage and the confidence. That's what it took. If you want to go ego, pride, this and that, you daggone right. Because I tried to explain to y'all, it took work to get there. Look at Jonah when God told him to go to Nineveh. Jonah didn't want to go. So your flesh normally denies what the truth wants you to do. So don't let me go biblical on you. And it's not being smart. I was talking to somebody last night, right? And they was talking about like, you know Bible. You know Bible. I'm going to do it again. You know Bible. But you don't know what Christ's journey was. But you know Bible. You know everybody in the Bible. You know everybody's story in Old Testament and New Testament except for Christ. But you know Bible. You can quote every goddamn scripture there is. But you don't even know what Christ's journey was all about. And you know how sad that is to me? Why my stuff is so blurred? I'm trying to read. Well, I had to lean up something. But these glasses, I should be able to see with them back. But now, keep in mind, like I said, and I'm only saying this right because I know what I was called to do. All right. If you profess to have a relationship with God and you don't know what your mission or your journey or your purpose is, that's your stuff. I can't talk about you. I can only tell you how I became obedient. What's up, family? How I became obedient back in 1993 when God delivered me from the smugs and the alcohol, from that addictive lifestyle. And I'm going to say this again to a lot of y'all closed-minded people. Coming up on 33 years from that lifestyle. You think I'm not going to share words of encouragement to other people who stuck in a certain lifestyle and have just to let them know you can come out of this and live a productive way of life? So if you think that's pride and you think that's ego, you got there going right. Because like I said, it took a lot of courage and confidence to get here. Then I tell y'all, right? I tell y'all, coming up on 33 years clean, I still go to NA meetings. I'm in the NA program. I speak at meetings. That's why I'm long-winded. At community events. If I'm called to go to City Hall on a certain topic of a certain law that might be affecting the community. That's what I do with Communities United. That's what I do with it's the ACLU. It's easy for me to say, abbreviate the name, right? ACLU, but I be trying to think of the whole name, American Civil Liberty Union. And if y'all don't know who these type of organizations is, that's because you're not into politics. Because you're not into activism or advocacy. And if you say you are, and I mention names like the ACLU and you don't know what I'm talking about, I know you're not really involved. If I mention the name, the Center for Popular Democracy, if I mention that name, the Center for Popular Democracy, and you say you in politics and you don't know that, I know you're not in politics. I know you're not. I will say little stuff to fuck with you to see if you're serious about what you say. Because a lot of us, what I learned, mainly on TikTok, we have a tendency of running off at our mouth. I will throw little bits at you just to see where you really at. Another thing I'll do, right, because what I learned in this process, it's hard for black people to work with black people. If I ask you, right, if I ask you something, because I'm willing to learn, I need you to walk me step by step. Because if you just talk, understand, you might be grounded. And that's what I had to learn, right? I had to learn this. I do a lot of this. But if a person asks me, how was you able to such and such and such? I catch it. And I'll be like, God darn it. Because they need to hear the process of coming up out of it. Or how I was able to do better in this area. We're just steady keep right on talking. And if I tell you stuff like this, I need you. It's something there that I need. I need you to walk me through a process. So basically what I'm saying, mentor me. That's why I realize we don't pay a lot of attention to nothing people say. We don't pay attention. But if you listen to basically what I say, if I talk about being a recovering addict, right? If I talk about being a recovering addict and you ask me, well, how was you able to get clean and stay clean a day at a time? I have to share that process with you. I can't just sit here and say, oh, I just stopped using. Eventually, that's what it was. But if I'm saying that, right, if a person, I'm talking about me in the community, because a lot of people want to tell me how to do my job, right? Now, mind you, I used to hustle. I come from that lifestyle. I share that with y'all a lot too. I don't live that lifestyle no more. So now when you got somebody that's out on the corner and they touting, yep, that's what it's called when you're working for somebody else. It's called touting. Okay? You got your team out there. Retired OG. I say it every time. So when it comes to dealing with our community, right? Here go Unc. I come from that. So it's certain things you go back and you say to our young men for them to identify with an old head that used to be there. There's certain words you use. Number one, the main word for an OG. Nephew. Normally when they hear it, they go, some of them gonna buck you. Don't get it wrong. Some gonna buck you. But when you go, nephew, I'll do it on TikTok with certain guys. We might go for it and I'll turn around and I'll be like, nephew. That means bring it down. Then please tell me I'm wrong. Please tell me, right? Because I get sick and tired of hearing this too. Hey, Chandra, even though we have people that's in the community, right? Our younger generation, I have children. I have grandchildren. Should I give up on my own? No, because I look at the way they're living their lives. If my children can become productive members of society, what's up, beautiful? If mine can become productive members of society, so can yours. I'm not giving up on our people like that. And I know a lot of people might not like my approach. I know a lot of people might not like the way I put stuff. But if you listen to my heart, be honest with you, I just want the best for them. Y'all want me to sound like some little punk or some little sissy or something like that. Sometimes you gotta come hard to get people attention. Oh, he ghetto. Yes, he is. But he's a conservative person too. Try me. Anybody that understand business, that know what Steve Copeland do, know why I do what I do. Know why I do what I do. Come from a broken family. DJ just came up, but coming from a broken family. The goal is to reunite the family. And that's one thing, and DJ, thank you, because one thing I love about DJ, he's talking about the family structure again. He talks about solutions as far as us need to focus more on the solutions. It's people like him that gives me the inspiration to keep doing what I'm doing. But y'all don't realize, and I can just say this for Baltimore City because y'all know what happened to me 2 years ago for standing up for our people, where they shut me down, locked me up. And the first thing y'all came out y'all mouth and said, a lot of y'all in Baltimore City, oh, that's what he did, blah, blah, blah. But I'm fighting for your rights. I'm fighting for your civil rights, your equal rights, and your constitutional rights. Did they not lock up Martin Luther King? Did they not lock up a lot of our civil rights advocates? Now, I can't speak too much on Malcolm X because I didn't follow Malcolm X like that. But I can tell you when it comes to walking in the footsteps of our civil rights leaders, this is one right here you looking at. That's why I talk the way I talk and I come the way I come. Anybody in Baltimore City, and I'm talking about like our politicians, any pastor, my church, myself, my bishop, my church members, they know what I do out in the streets. A lot of them out in the streets now with We Ours Us in the community doing stuff. I had to go find other organizations to join. But the reason why I'm sharing this, right, because whenever I open up my mouth, it's basically to educate our people, to inspire our people. I had to learn certain words to say. like encouraging, motivating, empowering. When I tell y'all stuff like y'all want to turn around and you put something negative, you want to throw something negative at people, right? Do you know how much courage and confidence it takes to stand up against people that don't want to see your people succeed? It takes a lot of balls. It takes a lot because you're going against the grain. I listen to a lot of y'all. I hear the stuff you saying. I hear it. But like, we looking for solutions. What are you doing to basically slow a lot of this stuff down? I was getting ready to curse DJ. I caught myself. What are you doing to slow a lot of it down? You know it's designed for us to take each other down. What are you doing with your nieces and your nephews because they out there destroying your community? That's your neighborhood. That's where you live at. What are you doing to take back over your community? You get with other community organizations to slow a lot of this stuff down. As a community organizer, and I'm gonna let you talk, DJ, because I know you got some great information. As a community organizer, right? What I would do coming into the community, Pennsylvania North is my area. West Baltimore is my heart. That's where I grew up at. Number one, and I'm sharing this with y'all because I'm going to send you through the process. I'm not just talking. You need to get to know who is your community president, the of that organization. Or you know what I'm trying to get to, that community president. You need to go to your community meetings because what they do, they sit down and they talk about the issues in the community. They trying to work on these communities to help slow certain things down. 9 times out of 10, and I say it, I guess I don't say it enough, it's normally your children, your grandkids, your nieces, your nephews that's out there tearing up your community. Because I was doing it. So as a community organizer, that's the first person I will reach out to in the community, is to find out who is the president of that neighborhood association. I might have said community organization, but the neighborhood association. Once you get to know who they is, they normally schedule a meeting every month. Get your butt up and go to the meetings. If you're afraid to approach your children by yourself, then you bring the team back together. Now, as a community organizer, listen to what I just said. As a community organizer, we will have a monthly meeting once we're able to talk, where we invite the community out, harm reduction in the community of color. What you just say, Mr. Copeland? Harm reduction in the community of color. What did you miss? Safety in the war zone. Now, because I've been around for a little bit, almost 33 years, I know other people that used to do what I do, right? Now they got their license degree, their doctorate degrees, their doctorates, and they clean. So they going, so they helping other people put their lives back together. So anytime we doing a platform, I will invite you out to share your experience, strengths, and hopes, and what is you doing now to better the community. That's why you got to get involved and know who's who and who's doing what. Even with your politicians. Now, it was a conversation that was had last night. If you involved or you doing an LLC and you don't know who's part of your House of Delegate, you're lost. If you don't know who's your council members, you're lost. If you don't know who's the mayor, you're lost. If you don't know who's the governor, you're lost. And that's in your specific district, basically, not your mayor, because the mayor is the city, that's the mayor, city of the mayor. I said city of the mayor. That's the mayor for the city. But if you don't know your council members in your district, I'm talking about your district, Then you know you got your senator for that district. You got your congressman for that district. You see I'm working it up. You see I'm working it up. And if you don't know you're the president of the United States, you're definitely lost. Mainly this one right here. Now, I'm talking about a guy, myself, look at me, I'm pointing at me, who had to get involved, with the community, had to know who the politicians is, had to know because they create laws. They create laws, they create bills that can hurt the people. I never was a punk when I was in the streets. So I ain't got no problem going to them. Saying, wait a minute, come here for a minute. Why did you create such and such and such, right? Because I want to know the individual. Why did you create certain bills that basically might harm the community? You know what I mean? This is the organizations that I'm with. This is what we do. We will fight not to get your bill, you know, into the books. I'm gonna use that word because when I say books, I'm basically looking at into law, right? So when I say stuff like that, I look at the 10 Commandments, right? They basically the laws. And a lot of people think, and I'm gonna say with the 10 Commandments, do not get it wrong. That's the 10 Commandments, but we have the 5 books of Moses. And I'm not going religious on you. I just want you to know that's how they create laws, to either embrace us, empower us, and motivate us, or keep us down. I wouldn't be sharing this with y'all if I didn't know. That's why I politics, and I'm trying to respect them to the utmost. Politics, okay, is full of crap. And as a person that used to vote, was a Democrat for 40 years, I became a Republican, DJ. And when I found out they was full of crap too, my fingers went up like this to both political parties. The hell with both of y'all. Now, mind you, I got Democrats friends. I don't hate them. I got Republican friends, blacks and whites, right? I don't hate them. I don't dislike them. But when it comes to certain policies, because I know some of them are some good goddamn people. It's just when it comes to the people that need their help the most, and I'm not talking about you middle class. I'm not talking about you well-to-do. Y'all are not the ones I'm talking about that need state and government funding. I'm not talking about y'all that need food stamps, that need Medicaid. That's what our tax monies go for. I've been paying into taxes, Medicaid since I was 14. When I retired, y'all know that that's where my retirement money come from. Okay? When I retired at 58, that came from my money I've been working for since I was 14. So that's why your money goes back into the community. It goes, a little of it goes away for your medical assistance stuff, and it goes away for you to have something in retirement to live off on. Y'all need to get with the, I was gonna say game, but look, because the conversation last night, right? And I loved it. I loved it because I feel like right now, and not just, I feel like business-wise for me, right? I'm like at a fork in the road. And I know God has big and better plans. I already know it. I try to surround myself with business-minded people. People that's actually business. I shared this last night, Crown, and I know you missed it because I told you I shared it a little bit earlier. As an LLC, I work with the homeless and the less fortunate population. I work with the homeless and the less fortunate population. That's what my LLC is about. The LaTonya D. Copeland House of Hope. It's not an air bid. It's not an Airbnb. And if that's what you do and that's how you make your money, that's fine. But when I ask for your experience as a business person, right? Or let me go back again, because I wanted to clear this up. One, I work with the homeless population. Temporary to permanent housing. But I'm going to tell you what tends to happen, soul brother, when you're talking with business people, and I get y'all now, don't get it wrong. It's more about how can you profit off of it. And I got that. Well, you ain't going to be able to make money off of this. You ain't going to be able to make money off of that. Well, when I started the housing program, right, the temporary to permanent housing, I knew for a fact that wasn't going to be quick money. But it was other ways and means that I had to make that extra financial, I'm going to say income for me, business-wise. I already knew. That's why y'all need to listen sometimes when people talking. And I shared that too. If I have 100 clients, and most of my clients, DJ, women and children, right? And I wanted to throw this back at my brother. Some of them, I might get somebody to call me DJ, a husband and wife, a child or two. They just fell on hard time. You get it, DJ? So the goal is not to judge the man or nothing like that. I don't want him to feel uncomfortable or nothing. So I have to help him feel uncomfortable because because he's reaching out to another man to help him and his family. So I already know, DJ, and I know you get it, that pride and that ego gonna eat you up. I already know it. So for me, I gotta make you feel comfortable, like, bro, I'm here for you, I'm proud of you, blah, blah, blah. See, y'all can't relate like that because that's not your avenue. And it's not to make somebody feel worse than what they already feeling. I noticed last night through a conversation, y'all ain't get it. It was more about profiting. And I got that. Because God darn it, I know for a fact. God already told me the millions are coming. But it might not be through just that process. Oop, did I say that word? Just that process. The housing part. The temporary housing. Now, and if a lot of y'all don't know what a temporary housing program is, I try to make it simple for y'all. It's like a transitional program. And if you read up transitional, it's going to talk about the type of people that they serve. Why would you want to compare your line of work? Now, we're business. Why would you want to compare that to this? But if you can help benefit the people, and I gotta go here, Crown, because I meant to tell you this. If you can help our homeless individuals, right, by renting a room or whatever, I don't have a problem if you want to connect, right, something like that, because there are husband and wives, there are people that can pay a certain amount, right, that they probably can afford the B&B, the Airbnb. Because I'm telling you, everybody is not to the point where they get SSI or they get SSDI or they get TCA. They just need somewhere for them and their family until they're able to stand up on their feet. So if through that conversation the other day, if you was listening, sis, I was looking for you to come back and feed me some good information where we could help them as well. That's why when it comes to business, and I might be going down with it because I just wanted to put some stuff out there, and I'm going to let DJ come on and talk. Because one thing, like I said, I listen to DJ, and he don't jump on everybody's platform. And if he come up, he basically going to, talk from a level of, I'm going to say experience. You want to come up, Gorgeous? He going to talk from a level of experience, right? Or basically the solution, what we can do. And that's where my heart is at, family. And y'all know me. And I'm looking this way, DJ, because I'm on my restream as well. Y'all know me in Baltimore City. And y'all know when it comes to Baltimore City, right? Born and raised. I want the best for Baltimore City. You know, come on, DJ, come on, cause you know Uncle Go. Come on.
It's all good. I'm just listening to words of wisdom. It's all good. I'm sitting there thinking. My head is spinning.
Yeah,
I was on live most of the day. You know, they was covering the story about the girl that unalived herself on TikTok. And it's covered, so it's kind of heavy on me. Heavy on the top. Thinking about it a lot. I didn't know there was a side of TikTok that was like that. I didn't know that.
It is.
I thought the panel we be on was messy talk. I didn't know it got worse than that. Did not know that until that story broke. So I was kind of catching up on. I spent like the last day or two just kind of catching up on things and what happened and all that, and listening to people's reactions to it and stuff. It got me thinking a lot. And one of the panel got upset with me a little bit because, as much as everybody talk about it, one of the issues about that is probably our own community. And it's one of the things we still don't hold each other accountable as much as we should. Even in the worst situations like this, we still don't want to tell the hard truth. Because there was a lady that jumped up on the panel and basically said, like, yeah, this is a black community thing because we have a community where we enjoy belittling each other for fun.
Right.
It should never be that way because the worst case scenario happen like that. When you take it too far, it happen like that, and everybody got so wait, that's my dog. I got dogs, I got sisters, I got this. Like, nobody's get out your feelings. Nobody's talking about you personally. It is a community thing that happens too much. It is like we need more unity. And it's profiting off of belittling other people is insane. It's insane. That is insane. We just seen an example how it went too far. And it happens too often, unfortunately. It happens.
I didn't get deep into it, but I did run across the I'm trying to think of her name because she does her own panel too. And she was kind of laying some people out, but she had a picture of her up there. And just a little bit I read, I already knew what it was. Already knew. And you know, mainly because of the people we deal with in the community. So it was sad that she was at a point where she did that. I'm gonna just say that. But I knew it was surrounding some issues. And normally when I hear people come up on platforms and they try to share certain things, I'm quick to come in to try to encourage you, to try to empower you, to try to get you out of that state, you know, because that's where her mind was at, you know. And what a lot of people do on TikTok, and I see it a lot, when somebody come up here and they express their trauma, that's why I try to tell people, if I'm not going to say, you want a safe place, come here. Real simple. Because number one, the goal is to encourage you and empower you and help you understand it's okay to feel the way you feel it. Just don't hurt yourself. You get me? So normally when I see it and I'm on a panel, I'll try to come in. But I'm going to say this right here, and I'm going to point the fingers at you hosts. When you got somebody that come up on your panel and you know that they are hurting inside and they trying to get it out, right? Don't allow your other people on there to tear them apart. You don't do it. That's why I catches a lot of things when I hear, because of the clients I deal with, right? Now, and I'm saying this to the host, some people look at this as a form of therapy because they might not feel comfortable talking to the therapist or whatever. They not in your face, but they feel better behind the camera of venting. Let them vent. Do not allow nobody to tear them down. I was I'm not gonna mention the name. Yes, I am, DJ. I seen Ron's light up. June, I don't fuck with you, wench. Now that's the Negro. Pretty intellect. I don't fuck with you either. And my goal was to start letting them know, when y'all come up there, drop me, or I'm going to drop myself. And I don't want to just leave nobody panel like that. But I do not like when we come up there and I listen to y'all. In June, I don't even know June. And she have a tendency of coming for me. So I have to catch myself, because number one, you're coming for the wrong Negro, sis. You coming for the wrong Negro. I'm not Ghost. And right now, to hear about that young lady, and I heard it, I was looking at what's your name's talking about her earlier, right? I just zoomed right past it. I zoomed right past it, because dealing with us and trying to break that cycle, like DJ was talking about, that mental state of mind. That's why I was sharing with Plus Jones and them last night, right? When you join my housing program, you have to sign up for the mental health program. And the reason why I say that, because I know the stigma that's put on us. And that thing has to be broken. I remember asking my cousin, I said, why do we come for each other so hard the way we do? And he said, post-traumatic slavery disorder. So I started reading up on it, DJ. It's been passed down through slavery, generation after generation. You gotta learn to break it. So when y'all say little stupid stuff like this out your mouth, he's caught up in his feelings and emotions, you damn right. But if you knew me over 30 years ago, you better hope, you better be glad God removed me from that. Because when I was caught up the way I was caught up, you went down. So when I come on certain platforms, I can't be so direct. And a lot of you brothers, and I'm not trying to be smart, you can come on TikTok and threaten people all you want. A man, no, you never threaten another man. You never tell a man what you're going to do to him. That's why when I hear y'all, I hear the little boys. Because number one, I was taught, if you're going to do something, you never let your left hand know what your right hand doing. You never let nobody know what you about to do. You go do it in secrecy. Because then can't nobody go back and tell on you, because they don't know but you. So that's why when I hear a lot of y'all so-called thugs, cry babies, DJ, that just kind of got me, bro.
Yeah, I know, man. It's tough, man. It's tough, because that story was the worst result of what can happen, man. When we don't appreciate each other and give each other grace enough, when we don't, and that was like learning more and more about that. That was like some deliverance stuff, man. It was like people looking up people's home addresses and getting people fired and all this other stuff that was going on that side of TikTok. I ain't never heard of that stuff until this story, bro.
Right.
I heard of that stuff. I thought our little gender war panels were crazy. I didn't know it got way worse than that. I didn't know it got. And then I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stay away from that side of TikTok. Stay away. But now you got. Now, like, that was the few panels I have been on today. I was, telling the host that I do know, like Brussels and people like that. Like, hey, man, just be careful, you guess stuff on here, because now that story broke now. You better believe the three-letter agencies are watching these panels now.
Yeah,
the people that was involved in that case, the FBI already confiscated their phones and their devices, and they got an investigation now on that. You better believe they about to serve some jail time for that.
Yeah.
TikTok is ran by AI, but I was just speaking on her earlier. Her name was Rizzy, and she was in her 20s. She came on the app to make friends, and she didn't know about Messy Talk. They kind of manipulated her, made her feel like, they were her friend. They extorted money from this woman. They made her pay to be a mod, dropped her, took her money again, continued to make her pay. Wait a second.
Well, whoever platform that was, and thanks, gorgeous.
Yeah, hold on, I'm trying to. What the fuck? What is? Oh no.
Because if they played her like that.
No, yeah, they did. They took advantage of her real bad.
There's more to the story. There's more. Hold on, give me a second. I'm trying to.
Wow.
But hold on, what? I have so many questions. Basically, they made her pay to be a mod. They dropped her, and then made her repay. That was over $500. Somebody wanted $2,500 from her just to make up and be friends. When they talked about her, they continuously brought her around. They continuously made her feel like they were friends. They dropped her when she was around. They were talking crap about her, and they just bullied her. And the last live that they were on, I guess she took her life on camera, and now they care. But my point is, they bullied this woman to the point to where she took her life. And then they're still, when I tell you that side is still fucking laughing about it, they're laughing about it. There's a little Spider-Man thing that's going around. Spider-Man is on the ceiling swinging around. They're saying that that's her. She's all on Reddit. That they sent her nasty messages. People were in the comments. They sat there and did nothing, and they were encouraging her to take her life. They told her to do it. That's disgusting. So disgusting. I am so hurt. There's a petition that people are signing, and I just signed it earlier. And I'm gonna go live about it, and I'm gonna put it in my bio and stuff. This has broke me for real. I ain't gonna lie. I called the cops earlier, and I made sure to give them the people's names because they need to be brought to justice.
Yeah, TikTok. They're gonna give it to them, and not only that, because I know personally, even with Facebook, TikTok is watching us. They watching us, and I think we talked about it before. Family, when I went to Google, like a 304 stuff like that, because I've been hearing it here, so I call myself Googling it, right? And they do have definitions of the 304 and the 403, but this what got me more than anything: passport bros. When I looked that one up, and it talked to everything passport say out his mouth, basically why he go do what he do. It's like they was running down the definition and everything, and said they got that information off of TikTok. I was like, yo, mother suckers, because what they're doing, they're monitoring us. So when you hear people talking about like research and data and stuff like that, that's what they're doing right here. And I was calling TikTok out on that. I was calling it out on that because my thing is, now with the AI, like we're saying, they don't have to do one-on-one like interviews with people like myself who have a certain, clean time. And I can tell them why I started using, from a young age, blah, 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 on up, right? Because that's what they need, because that's how a lot of them get their information, right? So even your doctors, your psychiatrists, wait a minute, I'm trying to think of like the ones that does like addiction counseling, all that type of stuff, because they have to. If you don't have personal experience in it yourself, you have to research this stuff, and you have to talk to people who actually live that life. That's why I run off in my mouth the way I do, because I'm basically making people aware that's not aware of certain things. I don't care if you got a doctor's degree. That bull crap don't faze me. Because 9 times out of 10, if you got the doctor's degree in sociology, right, and I sit back and tell you, well, I sponsor men and women, you ain't doing nothing no different than me. But see, the difference with me, because I'm not licensed, some of them can't go to those areas, family, and I'm gonna share this, and I'm gonna try to keep it clean so y'all can talk. And y'all might have heard it before, but when I got clean, right, I used to wake up when I was drinking and all that. I used to wake up like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, running to the bathroom, gagging, right, throwing up. Excuse me. And I'm thinking in my head of an 18-month-old baby being choked. You get me? Yeah. And that's all. Now I know I didn't do it to nobody, and that's why I had to play with these words for TikTok's sake. But anyway, I believe that baby was me because of some of the things that went on 5, 6 and all that, trying to be grown. And they called this smacks your curiosity, right? So anyway, I had to go back and look at Steve to figure out why in the world did I reach out towards this stuff. right? So anyway, I'm saying that because this is how I work with men and women. And not just that, I look at our youth, our teenagers, our children who are being raped and stuff like that. And they're threatened not to tell nobody. Or some of them 9, 10, and I don't even like to go that young because I don't even want to imagine a 9 or 10 or 11-year-old brown there maybe, but having a baby. And believe me, if they got a baby, somebody in that house ain't, you know. So catch what I'm saying for TikTok's sake, right? Now, when I did my my teen talk show, excuse me, when I did my proposal for that, with the multi-purpose center, because I don't want none of our children to have an excuse not to come out the house and embrace their talents. So what I did, I put a multi-purpose, I put a daycare center in there as well. Because now I'm realizing we need to help our children get out and put them into something active, right? To release a lot of that pain from where they at. And I'm talking about their trauma. And they talk about who did this and did that, right? It hit me. I said, somebody gonna go to prison. Because the show is based around, remember, Gorgeous, you already know. I'm sorry. But you already know part of why the Teen Talk Show, right? To give right. No, the Teen Talk Show. Remember we was talking about Saturdays at 2? But yeah, I might change it. We'll talk later, but still, because I know for me, you'll be a great host. And DJ, I just need people real. And I know Gorgeous is one. And I know Gorgeous is one. To me, she's very knowledgeable for her age. And not only that, she know how to embrace you spiritually. That's what I love about Gorgeous. I learned that a long time ago about Gorgeous. She will embrace your spirit, you know. And I just love the way she bring it, DJ. That's why that's my mod. I don't play. And if she feel like you coming up here with some bull junk, she'll drop your butt too. She don't play. He ain't got time for this. Bam. But yeah, I'm sorry to be long-winded, right? But yeah, that's why the couch conversation is what we on now, right? Which is keeping it real, DJ. Then on Saturdays at 2, and I might change that time because I've been waking up a little bit later. But I might change the time frame. It's just getting some people to work with me, right, and see what's the best time to do it, where we can embrace like the teenagers. And I thought about this too, Gorgeous. Maybe the parent can come in as well. Like if it's a parent right there with their child, and we ain't gotta go real deep, but to be able to let their child express themselves with their parents the best way they can.
I think because that can get tricky, right? Because there's a guy who does a talk show. I forgot his name. It's a black dude who's bald-headed. But he dark skinned. And he does a show like that. He has the kids come on, and then he has the parents come on. But a lot of the time, the parent and the child get into an argument because the child doesn't feel heard, because the parent doesn't validate their experience or how they're feeling.
Right.
So if you're going to do that, go through each kid and ask them, hey, is this something that you want to share with your parent, or is this something that you just want to share? Because sometimes if kids have their parents there, they can feel scared. They can feel intimidated. They might not feel comfortable, and it may not be safe for them to express it. So I say just go case by case for real. I don't say apply it to everybody.
Right.
Sometimes it can turn into a huge mess. But I would say just ask every kid, their consent. Hey, you want your parent here? No, okay. You want it to be private? Oh, okay. Okay, we can talk about it. Something like that.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean it kind of hit me. But now, like you said, and I was looking at just what you said too, because the whole thing with the Teen Talk Show is to give them a voice. And I don't want that parent to dictate whatever they say out their mouths. Now, not only that, I've been looking at this right here. We listen, but we don't judge. And that's something that I want to make clear with the parents. If you cannot listen to your child without trying to be judgmental or thinking you need to discipline them for whatever reason, then you're right. I don't even want you to be around like that. But now, for certain children, we do have to get the parents' permission. Because I'm looking at, I don't want to really limit it to a certain age, long as they old enough to talk, right? Now, this is what therapy is about. Anytime a woman in my housing program, and I believe I don't think it's 6 but 7. From 7 on up, they have children, they have to sign up for the mental health program. Because now they can express themselves a little bit more at that age about what's going on with them, mainly the trauma. You know. So that type of stuff, if they've been raped or something along the line, I don't want it completely exposed. You get me? Because I don't want them to say nothing to make them feel too uncomfortable.
Makes sense.
Right. So now I'm just saying this, right, because it's a time for everything. I already know that. It's a time frame for everything. And it's just getting the people together to do what needs to be done. Because I have some people here in Baltimore City, men, that I know work with our young men. And not just our young men. I'm glad they're working with the young babies as well, the young girls as well, teenagers. And I'm glad, you know, because I like to see our young men and girls, you know, boys and girls communicate together. I love seeing that. So it's a whole lot of them gorgeous in Baltimore. And I said what I was going to do, right, because I don't know why I be losing energy from time to time. I got to get back around Uncle T and talk with Uncle T, May Fonzo, Umar. He has a boxing ring, right? But I think he basically worked with the young men. It might be the females in there too, but I know Umar mainly worked with the guys. But these are people, and Lisa Cooper and Lisa, they work with, you know, most of our young women, like 18, 19, 20, stuff like that, 15, 16. And these are some of the ones that I said I was going to start going around and actually start doing a live, start doing my live. But I can't do it without the consent of the parent. You get me?
Yeah.
Yeah, because,
saying.
yeah.
And that can get tricky too.
Yeah.
Some parents feel like they can just dictate, and you know that one parent that's just like, if their kid is like, hey, can I go to sleepover? And they're like, no. And they're like, why? They're like, because I said what I said. Some parents are like that. So I feel like it's really going to be a struggle.
I was just about to get, that's one of the things of my nonprofit is we build it up, and I'm start doing more and more work here in Atlanta. Like, I hope we get parents recognize that, because I was on live maybe a couple weeks ago and they was talking about parenting style. And I did a scenario with everybody, all the parents, even though I'm not a parent. I did a scenario on the panel. I was like, so if your kid come home from school one day and he said the teacher cussed him out or slapped him down because he asked a question, what you gonna do? And all I'm saying is like, well, I thought, hell, don't raise hell. I'm like, man, why do you parent them kids like that? Why is it called authoritative? Authoritative is like, that's like a bad parenting style for kids when they grow up. And now you grow up and you don't know how to communicate, you don't know how to cooperate with no one, because you got raised in an environment where basically your parents say, do what the hell I say or shut the fuck up. Say, it's my way or the highway. You don't explain why things are the way they are. There's no learning. You just do what I say.
And DJ got me, look. Well, I told y'all I did foster care, right? So, you know, they train you. They teach you how to like deal with troubled children, you know, a certain way to grab them when they out of control, you know, all of that. And what I did from what they taught me, DJ, I used for my own children too. But then I started realizing, family, that you hear how I run off at my mouth. I'm real good at that. That's not a problem. Telling my kids do this, do that. But I had to actually started letting them see what I say. Because that's why I try to tell people too. Sometimes your words speaks louder than your action, but your actions have to speak louder than your words, because they are watching us. They're watching us, and My children can tell you right now. I was getting ready to call little Steve. Y'all put him on the air thing, right? They can tell y'all the only time my father will beat us if we disrespected elders or our teachers. Now, I know they're not going to just come off at you, but if a kid in there showing their butt, they might want to be a part of. So I know they do that. You know, the peer pressure thing, or just want to be part of. So I'm going to talk to you and warn you. I'll give you 3 strikes. That third strike, I'm pulling that belt out, right? And they'll tell you the only time my father would beat us, and that's the way my mother and them did us, DJ, back when we was younger. If you disrespect your elders and you disrespect your teachers, they talked about the village, DJ, but guess what? Even your neighbors whooped your butt. But and I'm old school, so that's how I had to carry you, right? It's a joke though, DJ, but look, my 2-year-old granddaughter, when she was crawling around and she couldn't have her way, she would just fall right out. I told my daughter, I said, I can't wait till she turn 2. I said, I can't wait till she get to that age where I could beat that boy. I asked my daughter not too long ago, right? I said, she's still falling out? Because I'm not around them like that no more, that much, right? She said, yeah, Dave. I said, I'm going to beat that boy. But nah, there are other ways of dealing with our children. Now, it all depends on the circumstance at the time. You know, I thank God mines are grown. I feel like this, DJ, personally, when you have a child that's acting a little bit outrageous, sometimes you have to step up with your voice and they have to catch it, because what you're trying to do, whatever behavior that they're displaying, you want to say something loud enough to bring it down. This is what I do with the clients of mine as well. When you have a client that's off their medication, right? Normally they're in a state of mania and they're gone. So once I realize it, for me, I have to rear up. It's like that tough person got to come out to actually chump you down, at least to help you come down, to grab hold to something, right? And when I say something, is to make sense for you. So if I can't bring you down, because I know you in a state of mania, and when I rear up, that's my form, like I was saying, of trying to gain control for you to come down. Now, if I realize you're not coming down, in my case, I have to call 911, right? And when I call 911, DJ, they can threaten you, talking about, I'll unalive you, I'll do this, I'll do that. I say, come on then, come on, God dang it, blah, 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 blah. Because I know to some degree they just talking. Mainly if we had a decent conversation before, but my thing is just to bring you down. And I was trying to think of that word, is because we call it conflict resolution, right? So it's just to bring you down, right? But anyway, if I dial 911 and the police come, do you know they switch to DJ? They be like, how are you? And you all right? They come right down, DJ. And I'm like, that's all I needed. But now, in that case too, if I know you off your medication, DJ, I gotta sign you away. But that's because, man, when it comes to our people, and my heart went out for this young lady, you know, when it comes to our people, man, you have to know how to deal with certain people. And if it gets to that point that you see whatever you're saying is they're not catching it, that's the way I look at it. They're not catching it to bring themselves down, then yes, you might have to make that call. Because when the police tend to come, they act normal as possible. And then what I have to do is go do emergency petition to get you back on your medication. So that's why when it comes to dealing with our people, man, that's dealing with psychological problems, I pay a lot of attention, you know, because I'll be honest with you, a lot of people that's in, say, a state of mania, and you might see them out on the streets running around acting a little off. I'd rather to see the police come and take you away than for them to take you down. You get me? Because I seen that happen too. Rather than them dealing with you in a certain way, they will unalive you because they feel like, you know, you're a threat, not just to yourself, but to the community. So in situations like that, I'd rather for us to do what we got to do to get them the proper help that they need, right? Some people don't care. You know, I hear a lot of people on here, DJ, and be honest with you, because I know you and I be on certain platforms, and whenever I come in, I'm only if it's your prompt, and I can relate to your prompt, I'm going to share an experience according to the prompt. And you know, the panels normally get offended. Why are you making it so personal? Well, it asks you a question. And that's the thing that gets me, and not to talk too bad about our hosts, but hostess, the ones that's hosting platforms. If you put a prompt up and you basically asking a question, how do you feel about this, or how do you feel about that, or why do women tend to disrespect men? You know, Lord, just to me, when you ask that question, the woman should answer. Because for me, I'm just saying for me, and I did this the other day when we was on a dual platform. I read the question and I said I want the woman to answer, the women to answer. I wanted the women to answer, why do you feel like you need to disrespect men? See, only a woman can tell you 9 times out of 10, DJ, I was looking for them to talk about a little pain or something that they went through. That's why I don't have respect for men, blah, blah, blah. None of them would touch it. They wouldn't even touch it. And I knew it was there, but that's why I made that statement, and I read that prompt. And later, I said it again. I read that because I needed to hear from the women. Why do you feel as though you need to disrespect a man? The same with a man. If you're going to ask a man a question, or you're going to put a prompt up for the men to answer it, let them answer it so the women can understand why we behave in such a way. You get me? They will go all around the prompts. I'll be like, what the hell just happened? We done came from the prompt and went to Jupiter and then Mars, and we back on Earth yet? And I bust out laughing, DJ, because a lot of them, I don't know. I'm trying, DJ, I be trying to understand. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it. And I was saying this the other night on the Jaws platform, because I came up a little late. And I said, I know y'all probably already answered the prompt, right? I know they probably talked about it some, but by this time they all over. So I wanted to bring it back to the prompt. And I like picking with people, DJ. I like now, because I'm older, you know, and a lot of things, once you get a certain age in your life, you just don't tolerate too much anymore. And I will get away from you if your stuff is really chaotic. After a while, I'm going to get away from you. I'm going to get away. I'm going to get away if you allow people to come up on your platform. And I understand that's how you get your views. That's how you get your numbers up. I understand all that. But it's just, I don't like it. And then when we sit back, DJ, and say the white man this and the white man that, And I feel as though we treat each other worse than anybody else can treat us as black people. I feel like we are our worst enemies. I do. And knowing that, that's why I have to switch certain things up. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, I can be mean and nasty if I want to. I can be mean and nasty because I lived that life before like that, even though my mother taught me a good life, morals, values, and principles. But I ended up doing what I did, right? So I understand that's part of my character too. But I like this good side of me, this loving, caring, kind, considerate person. And I want him to show up more. I don't want to be sitting back calling out brothers, you come on. 63 years old. Then calling out women, you be this, you be. I ain't even called, look, come on. 2 wives and daughters. What I look like calling the female or queen bees. And then back in our days, DJ, when you called a woman a bee, that meant a 4-legged animal, right? So nowhere in the world. And I be hearing guys DJ in their 40s, maybe, look, in their 30s, 40s, almost 50, and be talking about, yeah, be this, be that. I'm like, what? What? And please don't tell me you got daughters. If you say you got daughters and you that old, I be tripping, DJ, sometimes. Bro, nephew, I be tripping. I'm like, what in the world? And sometimes, you know, I be wanting to tilt this head down. Yeah, because I be like, Steve,
I agree with that.
don't do it.
I don't call the women no B word, man. I don't like men calling each other ignorance either.
Right.
I don't like that either. I was saying that on the panel earlier. I was like, man, y'all gotta start. They was like, yeah, you ain't no nigga like us. I'm like, why y'all keep calling yourselves that? I'm like, that's one of my criteria for dating. Like, that's a red flag. When women refer to their man as a nigga, that's a red flag for me. That's a red. Yeah, I don't even call myself that.
Right.
For return. Same way the B word is. Same way. I don't even go down that route calling a woman that. I don't expect no woman to call me no N word. We ain't going down that route. This probably we don't have respect. I agree with that, but we got our own worst enemy.
They don't, DJ.
Stop making it personal. Get out your feelings. We talking about the community as a whole. Don't be ignorant that like it don't happen. We had all experienced that at the high school table growing up, calling each other roaches, calling each other this, calling each other that. And man, I was part of it. And we chop it up like it's fun. Chop it up. Come on now. Don't be ignorant. Don't be ignorant. It ain't like hearing it though.
I'm laughing, right? Because look, anytime you hear me talking like that, yeah, he caught up in his feelings. When I go, if I start calling you out your name, to me, it's not being caught up in my feelings. That's that hardcore person trying to come up, you know, because it's a certain, and I'm looking back at when I was in the streets, DJ, it's a certain way you had to carry it. You put the package out, right? And it's a certain way you have to carry yourself back then. Well, my family, we did what we did. Let me just say that, right? And it was when you got the package out there and you feel like you running stuff, you king, you know, you king of the streets. And when I got clean, DJ, could nobody tell me intervention? Could nobody? Wait, no, I'm saying something. I was just look. I was trying to think of your Nafidi. Wait a minute, don't say nothing. No, don't say nothing. Nefertiti. Don't say nothing. Cause you know I'm trying to get your regular name right. I was practicing it for a while. But yeah, wait a minute. When I was in the streets, right, you could not tell me, bro, it wasn't about me. I mean, I made stuff happen, you know, blah, blah, blah. You could not tell me. But when I got clean and I found out I was not a god, you could not tell me it wasn't about me, man. And they was like, nope, it wasn't about you. And the world wasn't centered around you. But you could not tell me it wasn't, because of just the way I grew up. And then I'm talking about my older brothers. We protected our younger, like my young brothers and sisters, from what we was doing, But I had to humble myself. And I had to realize that the world didn't. You want to come up, Candy? The world didn't revolve around me, and that was a real humbling experience, for me. But it took other people that was clean before I came in, and they taught me how to begin to change those old ways of thinking. I had to learn how to change people, places, and things. Most of all, my family. I got high with my family and did smugs with the family, right? And I had to get away from my family. And that's tough. So over the almost 33 years, I will go, they not doing anything, right? Which we did. I'll go from time to time because I'm so used to actually separating myself from the family, the people that I did stuff with. And I had to learn not to keep hanging around the same people. So I had to change people, places, and things, like clubs and all that. I had to break that. And that's what these people taught me. We call them predecessors, right? Which I would be considered as one now. They taught us how to break that habit. It started here, DJ. Everything we were saying, it starts here. And even when we work with, say, like returning citizens and stuff like that, when you have repeated offenders, when they come home and they start doing the same things again to go back, that's because they're still running off their old information. So people like that, I don't mind talking to you because the goal is to help you break it. You got to put new information on top of that old, or you're going to keep doing the same things, just trying to say, well, this time I'm not going to be out there as much, or this time I'm going to give it to somebody to go do it, blah, 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 because you'll still think of ways of doing it, but ways of doing it and being able to get away with it, not realizing crime is crime. Crime doesn't pay. Or sooner or later, if you're out there committing a crime, sooner or later, you're gone. So we don't think like that. And a lot of that stuff, I had to break, man. I had to tell people where I was at, what I was thinking, what I wanted to do. And it was people with more time that helped me to understand you had to change your old ways of thinking. And they taught me different things. DJ, did you want to talk or my counselor just came up now, my therapist?
No, you let the ladies talk. I just wash the dishes, not eat siblings.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I'll wash the dishes anyway. You get kind of loud with water and stuff. Okay. I'm listening though.
Yeah, we just talking. Yeah, I see you, baby girl. We just talking. And Candy, I love you. I love you. Candy.
I'm here.
All right, I love you. When you see me on some other people platform, don't come up. Because if they come for you, if they come for my baby, I'm gonna lay their eggs out. And because I know who you are and I know where you at. And you don't mean no harm to nobody. But sometimes on certain panels, you have some people, they just got this black and white thing. And I don't play that. And if they come for you, I'm cussing somebody butt out. Look, intervention, y'all better not mess with my baby. Better not mess with my baby right there. I know. That's why I told her anytime I'm up, she can come up because, I know her heart personally. she been my backbone. How long we been knowing each other? About 7 years now, probably.
Something like that.
Yeah, she seen me go through hell and Middle River and all that, and we teamed up, and she been in my life ever since then. I call her my daughter.
That's stuff do be happening on some on the panel, man. I get sick every time, man. I even had to step
I've been on a couple.
Yeah.
I get called a coon. That was just on the panel the other day. This white guy came up and they was talking about marriage. And as soon as he started talking, this one T man, one T supremacists out here talking. We can't read the room. I was like, where on the front does it say anything about black marriage? It just says marriage.
Right.
It just says, he can't come in here and speak. He ain't disrespecting nobody. Oh, here come the cool black savior, bro. Oh God, bro. I'm like, y'all got issues.
And see, I don't have nothing against nobody. Candy already know that. But she got me thinking about Candy got me thinking about them knitted stuff your family gave her. Who do the knitting and stuff, Candy? Remember when y'all gave me all that stuff?
That was my grandmother's stuff.
Oh, woo! Like blankets and stuff, knitted, crochet.
Yep.
Oh my God, they gave me like totes of stuff.
From her.
Woo! Took me back to my mother intervention because she used to knit and stuff, right? And they gave me, look, I had blankets on the bed and little article stuff. All that stuff gone now.
Yep.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, some years ago, two of my, because I'm the big mouth boy, black dude, they set me up and locked me up. They kidnapped my handsome tail, intervention, intervention. They kidnapped me and sent me over to the prison.
What?
Yeah, what do I look like being around a bunch of men with weenies? No women to see.
Oh my goodness, no,
I'm too pretty for that. Oh, but look, intervention. My old crazy ass, right? They was over there fighting, and I'm like, y'all need to cut that bullshit out, blah blah blah. They looked at me like, I was like, okay. I had to shut my mouth, right? Because they like, this prison, this what we do. They taught me a lot. And when I seen about when I seen about 5 or 6 of them in the shower together, real close to each other, I was like, oh shit. I was like, I watch guys come in, say like 50, their pants around their waist, gave them about a week or two, their pants on their butt. Their pants like up on their waist, their pants up. And then about 2 weeks later, the pants is hanging down on their butt. I'm like, what in the freak?
Oh my God.
I'm gonna tell y'all, look, for the little time I was over there, and I know that was God's way of letting me see some things, right? Mm-hmm. And I got mad with the correction officers because their whole goal and purpose, they are correction officers. Yeah. Is to help you correct your wrongs. Mm-hmm. So that's not what they was doing. And DJ, we was talking about, and I'm gonna say the psychological issues or the mental issues in the black community. A lot of our criminals have those behaviors as well. Oh yeah. And they're not being treated. And I seen that over the prison. I said, oh my God, because my clients are like this. But once my clients are medicated, they normal human beings. So I was watching them acting out, and I was like, oh my God, they act a little crazier than my. So I'm seeing it, and I'm seeing it on TikTok. I'm seeing it on TikTok. So a lot of times when people zap out the way they do on here, I see certain signs that I see with the community anyway. And it helps me to see just how a lot of us have psychological issues. And I want people to understand, no matter where you at, unbalanced wise, it's okay to go get some help to get you balanced back out.
Yeah.
So did y'all hear about the young lady intervention that come on, DJ.
He talking about the Rizzy case. That had it on TikTok. The what kind of case?
A young lady.
There's a girl named Rizzy. She based her last Friday or Saturday. She unlined herself on her line in front of everybody. Oh my god.
I'm gonna end this, family.
What?
Right.
Yeah, she.
Yeah,